Thank you, Acting President. Now, the debate of this bill has been quite the experience. One Nation was accused by the Honourable Steve Thomas and others of being in an unholy alliance with the Greens to delay the bill. I'm glad to see you came out of it. The Honourable Steve Thomas then went on to use up a huge amount of time listening to the sound of his own voice, and along with the Greens kept us here until 3 a.m. This morning. So our position at One Nation was that this bill should be referred to the Legislation Committee, as it's a very significant bill. It showed merit. I think there was a good reason to send it there. There was a lot of unknowns. As we've seen, there was a lot of questions asked by the Greens. Now, One Nation is the only party that has been consistent on the need for proper review for matters in the Legislative Council. And the progression of the State Development Bill illustrated this very clearly. The Greens wanted to send the bill to the Legislation Committee for proper review, which I agree with, but they refused to do the same thing with the surrogacy bill. So it's very clear that the Greens haven't really got the principles when it comes to the bills. That bill's already gone. You know, they'll only send the things to the committee that are in their interest or support their ideology. Another thing that was amazing during the debate was the dynamic between the government and the opposition. At times I thought the Honourable Steve Thomas had joined the Labor Party. Talk about an unholy alliance. I sort of thought like the minister had morphed into the body of the Honourable Dr Steve Thomas.
Order, members. Order, members. The Hansard is going to be difficult for Hansard. Please. Thank you.
Yeah, it just seemed like the Honourable Steve Thomas was answering questions for the Greens that were like directed to the minister, and he was answering them for him. So sort of it was like he was the government. So talk about the unholy alliance. That's what I sort of seen there. But maybe this is a glimpse into the future. Maybe we'll see a formal Labor Liberal allegiance going forward. I mean, like in Germany, where their version of the Liberal Party and the CDU is in a formal alliance. Their version of the Labor Party is the SPD. They've been forced to unite because the highly polling party in Germany is their version of One Nation, the alternative for Deutschland, AfD.
Order, member. Order, member. Honourable Rod.
I'm sorry to raise a point of order on my learned friend here, but we just need to stick to the third reading speech, as much as I am personally interested in what he is talking about.
Thomas? Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Honourable member, the scope of the third reading is narrow and it needs to focus on whether it should or should not be going debated in the committee. So can you please keep it within the scope of the third reading? Thank you. The Honourable Caddies.
I'll do my best, Acting President. As I was saying, it was to do with the committee last night. I was talking about maybe the Liberal and Labor should merge and stop pretending they're not one and the same, because last night during that committee it didn't really convince me that it didn't convince me last night. I mean, they could call themselves the uni party, everyone else does. And to borrow from the Anthony Spagnolo's contribution to my motion yesterday, they could mix their colours.
The Honourable Leader of the House.
And I appreciate this is humorous. The Honourable Member will get to make it an end-of-year contribution when we get, as a Leader of the Party, when we get to member statements tonight. But the task at hand, Acting President, is third reading on the State Development Bill, and so the Honourable Member is not giving a third reading speech.
Thank you, Leader of the House. Honourable Caddies, when there is another member rising to speak, you need to please sit down and take your chair. And can you please keep your speech within the scope of the third reading? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Acting President. Okay, I'll skip past the humorous parts I was throwing in between there, and Now I've stayed. I'm just checking some notes here because I want to make sure I'm keeping right on track here with the third reading. I said before we're unlikely to support this bill, and the debate and how it's progressed, this bill, how it's progressed hasn't really changed my mind in that. This bill can indeed be referred to as the Let's Get Around Existing Laws bill. It really, we heard that mentioned, I think, from other members here. Well, obviously there wasn't much of an alliance.
Only one division out of 22. It's a very, very hard question.
Order, members. Order.
Now, despite not agreeing with a lot of what the Greens said when they dragged this bill out in the early hours, I support their right to do so. I note they were able to prepare a huge amount of questions. I guess that could be, the extra staff they've got. It might have helped him with that. Now, this state development bill is not in the best interest of Western Australians. The debate hasn't changed my mind on that, and as such, we won't be voting in favour of this bill on a matter of principle.
You just said you supported 2 minutes ago.
No, I didn't. Anyway, I had some. The notes are all a bit of humour, and I'm not sure I can keep completely on track for the third reading. So I'll sit down and finish my contribution there. Actually, I'll continue a little bit more. Now that I'm having the interjections, I'll just... Pardon? Well, would you like to repeat the comment?
If that assists you.
Well, you seem to always have a go at me, so I'm happy to continue on.
Order, members.
No, member, I have a go
Order,
at everyone.
members. Can you please deliver your speech within the scope of the third reading, and can you please put it through the chair and not directly engaging with the members in there? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Acting President. So we seen last night, the Greens asking a lot of questions. There was no actual, cooperation from the opposition. We've seen it already. Obviously, deals have been done. The True Alliance there that was going on. There was no. One Nation did go across for one amendment. I thought that debate was quite a good one. I thought the Honourable Brad Pettit, put forward a very good argument, and the Honourable Steve Thomas was debating him on that point, and it looked as though that there was a good convincing argument there that amendment should have been, everyone. I myself wasn't going to support any of the bills, any of the amendments, sorry. I was looking at them, but then listening, and that's what we do. I listened to the debates that were going on, and I thought that was a very good debate. And the returns from the Honourable member from the opposition was explaining why he didn't, but at the end it looked like he had been convinced. But then still there was no change, there was no shift in the mindset that actually that was a good debate, there was a convincing argument there, and from memory it was something like you would have an extra couple of months or something. It's only a couple of months, but them couple of months would make a difference. So I thought that was a pretty good argument at the end. So that convinced me to go across and actually vote, and I think that's what we need to do, and that's what that is all about, being convinced that there is changes that could be made to make it a better bill. And I thought that amendment did do that. So, I thought that was a good experience, actually seeing that debate take place and how it should happen here. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks. That's all I'll say.